the way I put it, a university is judged increasingly, and should be judged increasingly, on how it uplifts and raises up the most vulnerable in its community. At UJ, some 11,000 of our 42,000 undergraduate students receive state aid through the National Student Financial Aid Scheme. But we know that thousands of our students, in addition to that 11,000, thousands more, struggle to finance their studies at the university. And so the university has in place for the last 3 or 4 years top-up measures. That is, we top up the state aid in order to support additional numbers of students, typically in the region of an additional 800. Last year, in addition to that, we raised 38 million rands towards the so-called Missing Middle Fund. And so when I launched the campaign in February of this year, it was with great concern that the challenge that we had set for ourselves of raising 60 million rands would simply be impossible to reach. Today, though, I look back and I cannot but look in awe at what we've been able to accomplish. We've been able to raise that Missing Middle Fund from last year's 38 million now to 100 million rands thus far for this year. Just last week, First Rand Foundation came through with an additional 10 million rands, which meant that another 250 of our students were supported. And just previously to that, 2-3 weeks ago, APSA came through with an additional 10 million rands, again to assist some 250 students. And so we've raised the bar then to 100 million rands. And through it, we have been able to support some 2,500 so-called missing middle students. This is a phenomenal accomplishment. It's phenomenal in South Africa because at no other time has a South African university had a campaign of this nature, of this scale in particular. And so I continue, as I say, to be amazed at the extraordinary goodwill which South Africans and our broader university community inside and outside, the extraordinary goodwill that's being demonstrated in this manner to the university and to our students. This is simply an unforgettable accomplishment. And the most important thing about this for me is that through this and in this manner, we demonstrate the goodwill of our university community. We demonstrate that the most vulnerable amongst us count far more than those who are the affluent amongst us. And so may we continue in this effort. May we continue into next year. Perhaps we should set the bar at 100 million for next year and again continue to demonstrate our deep commitment to our students. I put it, the 100 million rand so far this year, as creating for us 2,500 degrees of freedom. Because through each of the lives that we touch, so the university's stature, so the university's legitimacy is lifted and raised inside the university and outside of the university. And for this, I'm truly grateful.
The University of Johannesburg. Rethink, reinvent.